Hey guys, what is going on? This is Ip of RageQuitTV. Gonna be casting another EG practice game. This time we're between Demuslim and Machine. It is a ZVT on Cloud Kingdom. And as I was saying yesterday, I really do think Demuslim is the player to watch at this upcoming MLG. And I think he's gonna make it further than anyone else on Team EG, which says a lot because that places him ahead of Huck, Thorzane, and Puma, in my eyes at least. But if you've been watching his stream, you can kind of understand that because he has a wide variety of play and it is all good. Machine, though, you can't really count this guy out because he is a very talented player. Does get overshadowed a bit by Idra somehow. I think he's actually more known for looking like Idra than his actual play, which is a little bit silly. Hopefully that does change soon, not because Idra's bad or anything, but because Machine deserves better than that. He is a very hard-working guy, and hopefully his story starts getting rewritten at this upcoming MLG. His first overload looks like it is going to be positioned right here, maybe. May try to put it behind this middle line. I don't know why some Zergs have been putting their overload back here. I really do like it better in this location because you can see when Demuslim ends up trying to move out. And the second overload we do have moving out, where is this guy going? It looks like he's going to be going way back here, and this will be eventually going to be called the Suicide Overlord. Machine going to be scouting at 14 supply. Demuslim already sending out an SEV, so it looks like he may be trying to block Machine's hatch because, well, Hellions no longer really are cutting it. And, well, no, I'm wrong again. We do have Demuslim just going to be building a proxy barracks. I thought he was going to try to deny this one natural hatch and then build a command center and start playing this matchup kind of like a Protoss. But no, just going to be proxying a single Rax. The drone is going to come up, and he's going to be a little bit confused. And if he counts the SCVs, he may be able to tell that one's missing. Or I think he saw the SCV leave. I'm not positive if he saw that SCV leave. Maybe he didn't. But, does go around the middle line and now will be making his way on down here. And it looks like maybe Machine thinks it's going to be a command center first, and this one SCV is going to be coming down. And the thing that Machine knows, he knows it's not like a proxy 2 Rax, so at least he should, because he did go behind this middle line twice and definitely made sure 2 SCVs weren't missing. You can miscount 1 SCV, but miscounting 2 SCVs, that's just a mistake. So Machine did go down here knowing, okay, it's going to be a 1 Rax Expo. Machine does go for a 15 hatch, 15 pool, and I'm assuming he knows it's a 1 Rax Expo just based upon this command center timing. Maybe he's got the timing wrong and doesn't know about it. But Demuslim does send 2 SCVs down to deal with the 1 drone. Does have a Marine making his way across. No, he is just sitting right there. We do have this SCV building a bunker. And there we go, the Marine going to be continuing his way out. The SCV trying to run around. One more hit will take him out. Will he end up living till the Marine gets there? No, he won't. But here we go, the Marine is coming. Demuslim does have 6 drones, which should be enough. Is going to pull 2 drones off by mistake. This 1 drone could have picked them off right away, and Machine does get that 1 single drone off. And these Marines actually doing quite a bit of damage, much more than they should be doing. But those drones do make it up. Almost killed 2 more drones. Marines are going to go place where the Lings cannot get us around. 1 Marine dies before he can get there. This 1 Marine does get into place, and this should allow him to kill 1 more Ling than he should. And now we do have Machine with these 5 Lings going to be running for Demuslim, who is just now building a barracks to wall this off. And hopefully the barracks does complete, because if the SCV gets picked off, you can't repair a building that is currently building. Only 1 SCV can, which does increase its life, but you can't really put like 3 SCVs on it and make sure those Lings don't take it out. So Demuslim could be in a little bit of trouble here. We do have the barracks on the way back again. This one is coming, and this supply depot is down. Will Demuslim lift it up? And he has made that mistake before, but not this time. He has learned his lesson. I think that was against Violet where he made that mistake. But we do have these Lings going to be working their way on the supply depot. This 1 SCV did not get picked off, so that may be a mistake by Machine, but maybe Machine is just focused on macroing on up. Demuslim is going to be forced to waste some mining time and even spend minerals repairing these supply depots from the Lings. Going into this unit's loss, well, you can't see how much they're actually losing, but they are losing a little bit of minerals, not all that much. Demuslim just building SCVs down here while the Lings are occupied at these supply depots. A Marine does come out, and the Lings are going to turn down and go try to pick off these 2 SCVs, which are immediately going to be going off. And they're going to try to make their way back in this wall. And it looks like those Lings are going to get in. And we do have the Lings against the SCVs. And Demuslim with some really cute micro on those SCVs doesn't lose a single one. No, he doesn't. Doesn't lose a single thing. Uses 2 Marines to kill 5 Lings. And those Lings were at like full HP. I have no clue how Demuslim did that. Very cute micro done there. Look at the damage distribution on his SCVs. definitely not easy to do there, and Machine just going to be taking a third base relatively quickly. Very good call. And does have this one Overlord back here. He can see one of the gases, doesn't poke in and see the second gas, which could tell him something, but in this case, probably wouldn't tell him all that much because Demuslim is up to 4 barracks already. And that's not really predictable, seeing this gas. Maybe he knows that there's going to be a stim timing, but he also could think that, oh, it's going to be a Banshee play. However, if he does come up and see the factory building right next to this one gas, then that would be enough to tell him, oh, it's probably going to be X number of racks with stim. We also have double E-base going up for Demuslim, so he is going to be playing with a relatively biocentric play, at least in this opening. Going to be rushing those upgrades out. We do have more Marines on the way out. These Queens are ready for the Marines, but this one Queen's going to go down instantaneously. Kills one Marine, but one Marine for a Queen is not worth it. Now the second Queen going to be falling, and this will bring Machine down to 2 Queens. That Queen does get away as Demuslim does start targeting down this one Overlord. Does not supply count Machine, but puts him very close. 64 supply out of 68, but now he is losing drones, and we do see those Marines being kited back. The Marauder now leading the way. Those Queens being microed relatively well by Machine. These Marines doing a little bit more damage than they should, turning down more drones. We are up to 9 workers killed by Demuslim, but Machine has an influx in Lings and is getting or had gotten the Roach Warren, so we may see him go for a Roach Baneling bust, which could be really strong against this because Demuslim has sacrificed a lot of his army for killing off Machine's economy. So that means he's not going to have that much back at home, or he shouldn't. However, the thing Demuslim does have is 2 walls, so if this wall does get busted down, he has another wall back here. However, the reactor supply depots are the walling points, which are not strong against Banelings. So it is possible for him to bust down 2 walls, and taking out a reactor would be also pretty darn big. But it looks like Machine just going to be macroing up, getting 1-1 upgrades on his Lings. And maybe he thought Demuslim was going to be going for like a mech play, which Roaches would be pretty good. Goes with Demuslim's variety of playstyles. You never know how he's going to play. Mech is very good on Cloud Kingdom because it allows you to go on 3 bases extremely quick and then slow push your way across the map. But it looks like Demuslim is going to be playing a rather biocentric play. And that one Overlord did get sacrificed. It looks like that was in the bottom right. So, wait, where'd it go? He doesn't see that much. Maybe he got sacrificed. No, it couldn't. It's one gas is here. I have no clue what happened to that Overlord. Maybe Demuslim ended up taking it out. Maybe it got sacrificed and went in a horrible scouting path. But you think it would have seen the factory and reactor right there, or refinery. But maybe he went down here and saw this one barracks. If he did sacrifice an Overlord, it was pretty badly done. Because he still has no idea what Demuslim is doing. We do have Demuslim now moving out. This looks like it will be a stim timing. The bunker shooting this one Overlord. Will he spend the time to take out this Overlord? It's at 41 HP. Can easily take it if he goes to the other side. Ling also sees his force moving out. Demuslim looks like he doesn't even want to bother with that. This must be a very crisp timing by Demuslim, but we do have Machine building in Roaches to defend against this, and maybe he didn't think Demuslim was going back, and this is just something Machine does end up doing on this map. It can be rather hard to defend this third base with just Lings, especially because Marines kind of get in this one spot where Lings can't get us around, and then they lift up, go down here, and kind of daisy chain their way back between the main and natural that way, and those Roaches maybe will put an end to that, but the Roaches don't really have that high of burst DPS, while these Stim Marines do, and Medivacs keep units alive very long. We do have Roaches bursting their way through this, but Demuslim just going to be picking up, going up into the main. Roaches are going to be staying down on this lower ground, so they can try to deal with these Marines while Lings do get up to go up and deal with just the bio. We do have another Stim, and Demuslim is going to be lifting up in the Medivac, and it looks like Machine has shut down this drop play. Still only 9 workers killed going into the loss tab. We do have Machine losing more than Demuslim, but Machine has a better economy than Demuslim at 3 bases with 67 drones. And also it looks like he is going to be taking another base, going up on a 4th base while we have all this drop play going down. Definitely pretty brave, and 5 infestors have started. Demuslim hasn't landed this 3rd OC yet. As soon as he sees this 4th base, he's going to have to take his 3rd because you don't want to let the Zerg get 2 bases ahead of you. And Demuslim is going to be coming, sees the 4th base, and immediately this command center does lift up and start going on over. The Ling is right here, burrowed, so he knows that the command center is there, knows the exact timing of this. Demuslim going to unload again. We do have Lings down here. They could probably turn around and kill these Roaches very easily, but again, those Marines are actually injured from all their stimming. They haven't been on the ground long enough for those medevacs to heal them up, and now they're getting picked off. They're too fast, and those medevacs cannot pick them up. The Muslim's starting to do a little bit of cutting action, but Machine does clean all that up, so maybe Roaches, not so bad. We will have them falling behind in the upgrades because Machine is getting the melee attack and not the missile attack, but going up for a relatively quick Hive. And we'll see if he goes up for Spire soon or goes into Ultralisk play. A lot of Zergs have been favoring Ultras lately. I don't know why, but they just have been loving them to death and losing games because they misuse Ultras. Not everyone has Stefano's Ultralisk control. Maybe Stefano just makes them look too good. So we'll see exactly what Machine ends up doing. The Muslim is walled off behind this, but that is a lot of Roaches with these Infestors in the back. Machines do have a relatively good split, and now Infestitans are coming out, but those are going to be putting up a wall, and these Lings cannot get through those Infestitans. All the Lings are just trapped right now. The Roaches doing their best, but Machine not with the best engagement. The Muslims tanks, if they force target the Roaches, will easily be able to hold this. SCVs, though, have been pulled off the line. Big Fallen Good. Those Infestors still had energy, and even with the bad unit placement by Machine, he still did quite a bit of damage, going up to 21 SCVs killed. That was absolutely ridiculous for how bad of an engagement that was by Machine. If Machine had done a little bit better job positioning his units, I think he may have just been able to take out all these forces and do damage to that. But the Muslim at the same time going to be going for the main base, doing a drop, killing off no workers. Still just at 9. These Marines in a very good spot. And now that Lings are starting to get that surround, they do lift up in the medevac. And did take out, looks like a spine caller right there. Does still have the pool, Roach Horn, and spawning pool. Knocking the adrenal glands upgrade. And that is a mistake from a lot of Zerg players. I always point that out. And Overlords will be getting taken out, but Machine did lose all his Roaches, so he is well below the supply cap right now. 147 out of 178. It looks like he's going for a Roach Ling Infest. I mean, not Roach Ling. A Ling Ultralisk Infestor combination. Infestors are going to be able to put off fungal Infestitans and miss the fungals on the medevacs, so they will be getting away while we do have Demuslim going to take out this 4th base. The Queen does fall instantaneously, and now Demuslim getting a really nice split on his Marines, taking out the 4th base, and he has done the damage he needs to do. He can back on off because it is 3 bases, 3 bases. He is down about 20 workers, but he's got mules. And takes out 1 Ultralisk while it's still in its egg form. That's something you don't see every day, but Machine doing a Ling run by now. The Muslim has to pull all his SCVs away. And Machine trying to set up for a good flank, it looks like, but decides not to. This one hatch could be falling, does get a transfuse. Funnel goes going down, but Machine is down to 2 bases. And this cannot be good for Machine right now. He has killed off majority of the Muslim's army. He only really has Marines left. I think he's only got 1 factory. No, he's got 2 factories to spool out tanks. And the Muslim has to defend at the same time. Gonna be doing a drop in this main. Up to 20 drones killed. Before it was at 9. And now he's killed 11 more with 2 bases. And if this was Idra, he would be rage quitting. But no, it is Machine, just a lookalike, staying in the game, even though he is behind on bases against a Muslim. The Muslim building a few bunkers with a missile turret because he knows all he has to do is defend. And he will do relatively well. We do have this 1 drop gearing up to do more damage. Key thing is all the attack structures for Machine still alive. Marines are at 2-2. These Ultras are at 4-2 with 3-3 on the way. Adrenal Glands on the way. 3 more Ultras on the way. But this SimCity by Machine is by the Muslim, pretty darn good. But those Lings are going to get on through. Marines going to start taking them down. The bunker does fall. That is a lot of Ultralisk. The Marines are forced to pull back, and that chitinous plating is done, and that's what is allowing them to do all this damage. As the Marines just not doing the damage they need to against these Ultras. You can see they do half damage, as Ultras do have. Actually, they do less than half. Marines right now upgraded so they deal 8 damage, but Ultras have 5 armor. And the 3rd base by Demuslim does get taken down, did not lift up, and Machine immediately burrows in a Baneling. And now the cool thing is, if this was like Slayer's Coca or Violet, mainly Slayer's Coca, what I would see him doing during that engagement differently is he'd be sending in a few Banelings in the back right here, burrowing them right here, knowing Machine or Demuslim may pull back, and on Demuslim's way back, boom, burrowed Baneling landmines. We do have this 1 drop now, going to be trying to do damage, and Demuslim is moving out with a handful of Marines, but Machine does have infestors with energy for fungal growths. And as long as these infestors do live, I think this base is going to be staying up. This small Bioforce is going to get fungal. There is no hope for that anymore. Demuslim trying to set up a good position right here, but only one tank isn't enough to kill off like an influx of lings, especially with ultras. We do see Queens now transfusing these ultras, healing them back on up. Lots of SCVs doing long distance mining as the main CC does lift up to go over to the third base. Demuslim with a handful of Marines to pick off drones, but Machine has had enough. He is going to be going to break down this one army, and Demuslim going to be starting to split up his units, try to get a good surround, but he doesn't have the number of units to deal with all these ultras with these infestors. You can see him tugging down infestors, taking 2 right there, but what are you going to do against all of these ultras? And units are getting picked up in medevac so they can return home, but Demuslim just doesn't have a solid econ. You can see he's going to be mining off of one base. Does have a drop of 3 units going to be going into the main, trying to do what damage they can, but they're not going to be able to kill any of these tech structures, which what Demuslim needs. And only, again, like a handful of units, not that much, and somehow that's like half of his army. Doesn't have that much back at home. These ultras, I think, may just be able to burst their way through this base, especially with the phone goods going down on all these bio units right now. Machine playing this game wonderfully, and Lings are going to be taking out a lot more units. Demuslim going to be trying to work magic with these handful of medevacs. Has more medevacs than actual units, but Ultimus is going to turn around, and Demuslim's econ is going to be shattered. We do have barracks lifting on up. The neutral supply depot is here, so he can't really do anything cute and wall the ultras into his own base. That would have been hilarious if he's like, okay, you got a lot of units right here, but I'm just going to wall them in and try to micro my HUD out with these and win the game. But the game was relatively cool. The one thing I'd love for Machine to do is work in a little bit of bird banelings. As I was saying, how cool would that have been if during this one engagement, let's see, did he kite backwards? Let's see. Go here and go back. So we have both of those bases. So, let's see. So we got the good wall. A few Banelings to help burst this down would not have been bad. But with Banelings, you always have the trouble, like with the one engagement we saw a Machine right here, where you had the Lings kind of stuck in the back. Banelings do have that thing when you try to do burst with a lot of them in late game. But what I have seen Koka do during this engagement, while everything's worried about bursting down this wall, he'd run a few Banelings in back here and burn them. Maybe that's why Demuslim puts a missile turret right here. That is an odd place for that. Most likely to defend against Bird and Fester sneaking their way. But how all, like, we're in Seabird Banelings, but Demuslim already pseudo, like, somehow preparing for that to happen. So, let's see. So right here, when these Marines were cutting back, like, again, the missile turret's here, so it may not be possible. But how cool would it have been if the thought was there to landmine, or have a few infestors back here and be like, oh, you're running away? Nope, and coming in like Parting's High Templars and Fallen Growth units on the retreat. That would have also been really well done. Not taking anything away from Machine's win, just saying some things that could be happening. That hopefully we will see as StarCraft does progress, because a lot of people have been saying StarCraft's kind of hit that skill cap. And all I'm trying to show is there's a lot of room for improvement, even though how well Machine played that. Didn't have the best creep spread because Demuslim was constantly being aggressive, and could have done a few cool little tactics, but overall had great macro, and won purely based upon that. So the other thing I want to watch is that one engagement on this wall, and 10 minutes, that may be good. Yeah, so let's see. 12. So we're just going to fast forward really quick. I'm not sure exactly when that happens, but I don't think it's happened yet because there's only one SCV dead. Just want to look at that one engagement that was a little bit odd when Machine tried to burst down the middle. And while I do that, I am loading up the replay between these two, so... So, okay, we're in SC2 gears. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the lings so you can see the lings better. So we only have the lings highlighted, so this way you can see where they get stuck. Or how many get stuck. Pause it real quick because more lings showed up. So we have all these lings now. See a lot of lings just in the back. Being stuck, being relatively useless. So, not the most optimal engagement, but it still worked. So we will be hopping, oh, excuse me, over into SE2 gears. So, APMs, 127, 113, pretty darn good. Going over here, let's look at trains and filter action for Marine. Train, Marine. Click down here, boom, 23 minutes, 20, okay, that does match up. And Demuslim does have pretty darn good macro on his barracks right here. Missing a small thing at 18 minutes. Over here at 10:51, this is a little bit odd. So 10:50, let's go look at exactly what's happening at 10:50, because that is a large gap for not producing anything. So what are you doing, Demuslim? You don't look like you're going to supply cap yourself. You can see no Marines being produced right now. Marauder is getting produced. Still no Marines. Does have the supply. Looks like it may just be... I don't know. Looks like it's just a mistake. Hasn't gone to do any of that just yet. Still have Feasting idle. This middle is getting a little bit high as he does move out. Build! This is a long period where he doesn't build anything. Does he... No, he's getting his third base already. There we go. Gonna macro something up. So it looks like Demuslim just kind of had a brain fart or something right there. That was definitely odd. But again, SE2 Gears does show you those flaws. Which, really good to see. If you see them in pro games, you know you're going to have the same things. So let's go to workers, so train. We can actually just go here, workers. And we can see Machine pretty much stops droning at the 10:33 mark. Demuslim building SCVs all throughout the game, having a small hiccup right there. But overall, really good production of SCVs. Doesn't have too many gaps. Let's see. Let's take down the filter. Go over to ability groups and do. We have 23 different fungals going down, 22 mules, only 6 scans by Demuslim. Going in siege mode a lot, not going in tank mode all so much. 16 unloads of the medevacs, relatively active with those medevacs. Main building control, 10 minutes, maybe a little bit off, just because, again, Demuslim was aggressive again early game. 12.5 seconds early game. Let's see, did he use a tumor? So at this point in the game, and what we go to look at is over here. And let's see. Spawn creep. Filter. And yeah, we do have Queens already letting those tumors loose. see. That looks like Tuma. Did he really have like 5? There's no way he had that many at 10 minutes. I'm still just trying to... There's gotta be an easy way to know if it's a... I think if it's build creep tumor, then that's coming from a creep tumor. If it's spawn, that may mean it's coming from the queen. Which comes first, the spawn or the build? 639 versus 733, so... Let's see, spawn creep. At 10 minutes and 3 seconds, it looks like he does it around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no way he's done it 5 times. Oh man, it's raining. My connection. Actually, I'm going to cut this. It's raining really bad out. I think my internet just died or something. So, don't want to power to go out in the middle of a cast because then I'd have to recast it to find another game. Take care, guys, and I will see you another time.